Hey guys, welcome back to All-Wheel Drive. Today we've got a really fun episode for you. This is a follow-up to the Integra video that I did on the 99 Integra that we acquired and recently sold. And in that video, I compared that Integra to the car that came after it, the Acura Rsx. And in that review, I did make some comments about how I didn't think the Rsx was quite as gritty. It was meant for more of the masses appeal. It wasn't, unless you got the Type S, it wasn't the kind of car that you could just, you know, feel that gritty nature of what the Integra really stood for. I think it has a reputation amongst those who are enthusiasts of the car as being the car you buy if you really want to create an awesome tuner car. You get a Type R, you've got the best you could get. You get a GSR, you've got a pretty awesome offering as well. So I did mention that I wanted to do a review, or that I would do a review of the Rsx subsequent to that video, just to sort of talk about, you know, what that experience is like and how it compared to the Integra. And today is that day, and this is that car. We've got a 2002 Rsx. It is the base model, but it is equipped with leather and all the power features that typically come with these cars. Sunroof, no spoiler. The suspension is set up on the base model to be more sort of accommodating to a commuter type audience, though you do get a pretty satisfying engine. It's got the 2-liter 160 horsepower power plant. This one has a 5-speed, so it gives you the opportunity to really get the most out of that engine. And I'm comparing that with the LS that I tested on the Integra side, which was 140 horsepower out of a 1.8 liter. I did mention that the Integra seemed to have a real good acceleration and throttle response once you got it going. So it'll be interesting to talk through sort of how this car compares to that. One of the things that I was really impressed with in the Integra was the fact that it handled so well. I had the LS model, so by no means was that actually a high performance or intended to be a performance model, but it was set up in such a way that it did a great job of taking in anything you gave it and then giving you back a really satisfying experience in terms of driving and handling. So that was something I was really excited about with that car. So with this car, we're going to see how it measures up to that that car and sort of how it does the same things, and if it does it better or if it does it worse. Let's get going and see how this thing does. I'm pretty excited. The fit and finish and the feel of this car is fantastic. I have to say, first and foremost, these are some of the best flipping seats I have ever set my ass in. I am not kidding. I've seriously been entertaining going and seeing if I can find some that are for sale. Most of them are going to need repair. The leathers on these cars wears out really bad, so most of them have rips and tears in them. But man, they are so amazing. The lumbar on these cars, it has 2 wings, one above your shoulders and one right on your behind your torso. And man, you fit in this thing like it's a glove. I haven't felt a seat this amazing since planting myself inside of a 964 911. Some of the best seats I've ever been in. As I was saying, I was entertaining buying these seats because I honestly would not mind having these seats in my RX-7. The only downside to that is that my RX-7 has the speakers and the headrest from the factory on that car, so I'd lose that. But you know what? I don't drive that car for the sound quality from the audio system. I drive that car for the sound quality of the engine system and for the way that it handles. So putting those seats in it, that would be amazing. So I want to get off topic, but back to my point, these seats are absolutely amazing. I love them. I absolutely love them. And the ergonomics in this car, you know, meaning how everything fits around you and how accessible it all is to the reach, is really great. Like I said, this car has a really big cabin. There's a lot of space in here for taller people. And I'm sitting in it and I can see how someone tall could really be comfortable in it. The reach to the gear lever is perfect. Your arm literally just drops and rests on it right where it should be. The throws are short, very concise. The steering wheel, my arm reached to the steering wheel, and the way that these, I'm going back to these seats again, the way that these seats position me, my arm is just perfect and it's got just the right support, so I don't feel like I'm stretching myself or that I've got a whole lot of pressure or strain on my arm. Sometimes your arm gets tired because you're reaching out to the steering wheel because of its placement and how you fit in the car. Well, this thing is set up absolutely perfect for a driver. And so everything just falls nicely to the hand's reach. And it makes driving it aggressively a lot of fun. Now, let's talk about the elephant on the table. Handling. The handling is not fantastic. It has a lot of roll. It pitches a lot. And that's attributed to the fact that it rides on a softer suspension. It has a higher ride height. And the car itself is taller. It ain't bad. You know, you can adjust to it. It's not to say that you can't make the most of it. It's just not nearly as planted as the Integra. I could take that Integra, mind you, and it was an LS. It's the first time I've been to 6,000 in it. This thing hauls ass, I ain't gonna lie. That 160 horsepower is great. But I was mentioning how the Integra was so planted, and that LS where it just ate up the corners. I mean, it was so precise. I've wanted one of these cars for a long time. I've always been excited about how they potentially measured up to the Integra lineage. And aside from that handling deficiency, you know, being too top heavy, if you will, for this model, it's great, man. It is really, really great. It doesn't look as good as the Integra. I stand by that. The Integra just had that look that when you saw it, you knew what it was and you just wanted to take it in. It just had a really beautiful, I'm using beautiful here, a really beautiful sort of silhouette. Just the way it was shaped, you know, it was low and long. This car looks more like a Comtrex pill or something. You know those pills that have the little beads in them that you take for a cold or whatever you might have? It looks like some kind of little pill you take. It's just a little capsule looking thing, very compact and squished. It doesn't have the same sort of lines that really, you know, set it apart in terms of being a sporty car. It is sporty, but it just doesn't look sporty. Not like the Integra did. It's still a great car. And after driving it for, you know, I've had this car for a few days. After driving it, I do like it. I think with the suspension, as anything, it's an easy fix, right? You could go and do all sorts of tuning to the suspension system, and you would have a car that would eat up roads with bends in it. Like Pac-Man eats up Ghost after he's had his little blue pill or whatever that thing is. He eats it, goes wah, 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 wah. But it's a fun car. I mean, I'm enjoying taking it through these canyons. I can't go as hard and aggressively as I would in the Integra. But having a manual transmission means that I can go just as quickly. So where I would have gone more aggressively in the Integra, I wouldn't have gone as fast because it was an automatic. So I couldn't control my momentum and my speed in the corners as well. This car, I've been in fourth gear pretty much most of this drive, and when it gets really windy, you go to third, and that's really all you need. I mean, it brakes well, accelerates well. Once you get the RPMs up above 3 in this car, thing just wakes up, takes care of business. It's a very, very, very fun car. But I love this transmission. I love the engine. Woo, we got a big straightaway right here, baby. Let's do it. Give me some RPMs, please. Six. Man, this thing hauls ass. Woo! Watch out for the po-po. I didn't see him, but if he just saw me, it would have been game over. Yeah, this is a fun little car. And like I said, this is the base model. This ain't even the Type S. Type S just means you get everything out of this engine faster. So whatever speed I just reached, and I do not care to disclose, you get there a lot faster in the Type S, and you get to get there and beyond faster because you get more revs. The more I drive, the more I like it. And I think what really drives it home for me is the ergonomics. I mean, again, I don't have an armrest, which I don't know what the hell that was about. My Integra had an armrest. I mean, this is the detuned version, so I think a resting arm scenario goes hand in hand with the base model for the masses. But it's comfortable. I mean, everything fits well. I mean, everything just fits well. My elbows resting on the armrest in the door to where I can grab the wheel. It's not an awkward position. I'm comfortable. I got great control. The pedals are placed really well. Everything is just positioned so thoughtfully for a driver. This is an efficient car as well. I mean, Honda was really good at creating power with their VTEC engines. They create lots of power when the power is summoned, and then when it's not, the car acts very pedestrian and gives you, you know, the quality of Honda build and reliability and efficiency. So the engine, A+. Even the small engine, the 160 horsepower engine. If I were to own one of these cars, the Integra or the Rsx, for myself, what I would probably opt to do would be find a salvaged or totaled Rsx. Doesn't even have to be the Type S, that had a salvageable engine and tranny, and put that in probably a 91 Integra. Does that seem crazy? Of course it doesn't. Anybody that loves Honda products knows about swapping. Everything gets swapped, but most people want to swap the most potent engine you can get. So either the Prelude engine or the Rsx engine, or, you know, Type S, or whatever, GSR. Everybody wants to put the biggest, baddest engine. I would be very happy with this engine. Take the head, have it ported and polished, come up with a better air intake system, maybe increase the throttle body, maybe some different injectors, fuel regulator, and exhaust. Put that in a 91 Integra. And I really wouldn't care if it was a LS or GS, as long as it was one of those. Change the clutch out, the flywheel. video. Stay tuned for the next adventure. Subscribe, like, share. See you next time. All-wheel drive. Peace.